live stream to Facebook is down.
Well, we're competing with a lot of people right now, so that makes sense.
Sure. I mean, when Melissa and I were doing some prep work yesterday afternoon during school hours, everything was really slow.
All right, it's live on YouTube, so let me get the link, and we'll just have a real janky beginning, which is fine.
And then at this
There's
point,
always editing.
Yeah, I was like, I know we're not all here yet, but I wanted to make sure it worked. There's the link. Because we're still missing one person. There should be 25 of us.
Is it Steven?
Yeah, it's David.
So this is the link you want us to share with our people if we want to publicize this on Facebook? Okay, thank you.
I was like, once we're all here, we'll put up the pretty countdown graphic and all that.
Do we share this right now, or do you want us to wait a second?
If you could wait a second until we're all here, that would be ideal.
Cool.
Just so we're all here.
No problem.
Melissa or Thomas, so are we also, we're having the countdown and then wait for music to fade to start? Or
there's no intro music for you, so as soon as the countdown ends, you're good to go.
Cool, thank you.
What is kind of fun is that they can live chat on the YouTube page.
Kevin Pollack.
What's up, man?
Is Steven in the group, the Facebook chat?
I added him to it.
Okay.
Let me send him the link. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm just not. Yeah, because I don't know if he's ever responded to anything. I know he was emailing me before was how we were communicating.
Yeah, let me just send him some real quick.
Yeah, he emailed me. So email him, and that's how he'll get in.
And then he can email me, and then I'll email.
This is our extended edition.
Now I just want the audio commentary to watch while I watch the extended edition.
Oh my God. So you can see Thomas about to absolutely lose his shit in this next scene.
And here,
all right, I emailed it to him and I messaged him.
Great.
You're going to cut off the mouth of Sauron's head so hard.
Ah! I do not believe it. I will not.
Little known fact, Thomas actually broke his toe in the...
That mouth of Sauron used to haunt my dreams as a kid.
Oh, I think it's one of the best things they've made. I love it so much.
Terrifying.
It was just Peter Jackson going, make it bigger. Make it bigger.
All right.
There he is.
25.
Yes, please rename yourselves if you haven't. Please rename yourselves if you haven't.
Thomas, can you double check that you can record?
I have the record button, and it's working.
Woohoo! All right, everyone. I'm gonna turn off our screen. Silence your cell phones. Once you see the screen go black, feel free to share the link. Huzzah! Break legs, everyone.
We don't wanna there's a way, where there's a way, there's a way, where there's a way, there's a way, where there's a way, there's a way, left, right, left, where there's a will, there's a way, left, right. A crack on the back says we're gonna fight, we're gonna march all day and night and for we are the slaves of the Dark Lord's war. Left, right, left, right, where there's a way, there's a way, where there's a way, there's a way, where there's a way. We don't want to go to war today, but the Lord of the land says nay, nay, nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Oh, where there's a will, there's a way. Left, right, 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 left, right.
The Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, Part 2. The fleet of corsair ships continue their easy sail up the river Anduin. Mercenaries stand on deck, itching for a fight. Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli await the ships on the shore.
You may go no further.
The ship's boatswain stands up in response.
You will not enter Gondor.
Who will you deny us passage?
Legolas, fire a warning shot past the boatswain's ear.
Mind your aim!
Legolas fits an arrow to his bow and takes aim. Just as he releases the arrow, Gimli deliberately knocks the bottom of the bow, sending Legolas' aim off. The arrow kills a mercenary standing next to the boatswain. He looks suspiciously like Peter Jackson. Legolas glares at Gimli. Aragorn looks across at Legolas.
Oh! That's it, right. We warned you. Prepare to be boarded.
Boarded by you and whose army?
This army.
The king of the dead and his army emerge through Aragorn and attack the ships. Frodo and Gollum continue their arduous climb up the stairs of Cirith Ungol. They arrive at a cave entrance.
In there.
What is this place?
Master must go inside the tunnel.
Now that I'm here, I don't think I want to.
It's the only way. Go in or go back.
I can't go back.
Frodo walks through the tunnel entrance. Gollum watches, then follows him.
What's that smell?
Orcs' filth. Orcs come in here sometimes.
They walk further into the tunnel. It is pitch black.
Hurry, this way.
Frodo walks on alone.
Smeagol?
Over here.
Frodo stumbles toward the voice. He falls against the wall and gets spider webs stuck to his hands.
It's sticky. What is it?
You'll see. Oh yes, you will see.
Frodo moves slowly forward.
Smeagol? Smeagol! Smeagol!
Frodo is alone. Tears start in his eyes.
Sam.
Frodo trods on some bones. He looks terrified and sees around him various animals hanging up in webs. He begins to panic and runs through the tunnels. Meanwhile, Sam is climbing back down the stairs, tears streaming down his face. He slips and falls. He lands hard.
Ow!
Sam groans and tries to sit up. On a rock, the remains of the lembas bread and their leaf wrappings sit where they fell. He picks one up, thinks for a minute, and then crushes it in anger. He turns and looks back up the stairs. Back in the tunnel, Frodo runs in fear. He falls and gets tangled in webs on the floor. He fights to stand up. He staggers back again. And you, Frodo Baggins, I give you the light of Erendil, our most beloved star. Frodo fumbles in his pocket and pulls out the phial of Galadriel. May it be a light for you in dark places when all other lights go out. He closes his eyes.
Erendil,
Hail, Erendil, brightest of the stars. Frodo thrusts the phial forward, and it blazes forth with a bright light. Frodo senses a movement behind him and turns his head slowly. He leaps up, and Shelob, a huge spider, advances on him. Frodo holds the light up to her, causing her to stagger back. Frodo falls over backwards as he tries to get away. She advances on him, but he stands up and thrusts the light at her. He falls over again, and she thrusts her pincers at him. He slashes at her with Sting, jumps up and runs off. Shelob chases after him. Frodo manages to escape from her by falling through a hole. He drops the light. Frodo continues to run wildly through the tunnel and gets stuck in a web. He is suspended, powerless.
Naughty little fly, why does he cry?
Gollum appears in front of him.
Caught in a web, soon you'll be eaten.
Frodo gets angry and begins to slash at the web with Sting. Shelob comes up behind him as Frodo is beginning to escape. Gollum sees this and looks worried. He turns and runs away. Frodo advances through the web with Shelob behind him. Sting gets caught. Frodo lets go of it and runs after Gollum. Frodo escapes through a narrow entrance and is struggling to release himself from the entangling webs around him. Immediately, Gollum jumps on him and grabs him by the ears.
Away, did it, precious? Not this time! Not this time!
Gollum tries to grab the ring.
No!
Gollum throws Frodo against the rock face. Frodo runs back to attack him and pushes him down on the ground. Frodo lands a solid punch to Gollum.
It wasn't us. It wasn't us.
Frodo has Gollum by the throat.
Smeagol wouldn't hurt, Master. We promised. You must believe us. It was the Precious. The Precious made us do it.
Frodo lets him go and falls back. He looks at Smeagol, who is also lying down and gasping. Frodo stands.
I have to destroy it, Smeagol. I have to destroy it for both our sakes.
Frodo turns away and Gollum's face changes to a nasty grimace.
No!
Gollum launches himself at Frodo from behind, who falls to the ground and pushes Gollum over the top of his head. Gollum falls off the edge of a cliff. Frodo gets up and starts to stagger along the path. He leans against a rock.
I'm so sorry, Sam.
Frodo falls to his knees.
I'm so sorry.
Frodo collapses to the ground, which is covered in grass in broad daylight. He lifts his head and looks around. Above him, is the shining face of Galadriel. She walks toward him with her arms open to him. This task was appointed to you, Frodo of the Shire. If you do not find a way, no one will. Galadriel floats close to him and offers him her hand. Frodo looks at it and her, and then with a determined set, he grabs her hand. She smiles at him and pulls him upright. Frodo is on his feet, still on the dark path. He breathes heavily, a new look of determination in his eyes. He trudges onward. The Rohirrim are stopped beside the lake. Eomer gallops up to Theoden.
The scouts report Minas Tirith is surrounded. The lower levels in flames. Everywhere, legions of the enemy advance.
Time is against us. Make ready.
Eowyn and Merry prepare to move out.
Take heart, Mary.
Merry, who is eating, looks to her.
It will soon be over.
We have no sound, Bart. We still don't have any sound, Bart.
Bart, will you unplug your microphone and plug it back in for us?
Unfortunately, we're still not hearing anything.
Bart, you want to go out and come back in?
Is your microphone unplugged, Bart? Can you unplug it and just use your computer audio? No? Do you have headphones that you can plug in?
How about a phone you can call in on?
Bart, go out of this call. End the call and then come back in.
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
Yes. Hold on, guys.
I have a quick idea. If you go down to the bottom left near the microphone, Bart, there's a little arrow, and if you click it, you can click audio settings. Make sure that your microphone is selected under your audio settings.
Yeah, whichever microphone you have plugged in to your where you're streaming from.
It's lighting up. So that's good.
Oh, that when he's speaking.
I heard some background noise just now.
He'll be right on. Bart, can you talk? Bart?
Give him a moment. It's all right. No, unfortunately not, Bart. We've yeah, and you've double checked that under your microphone settings on the bottom left-hand side, the microphone that you are feeding into your computer is selected as the microphone source. Yeah, just nod your head. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Let's do something else. Okay.
Did he try using his phone for the audio?
Yeah, Bart, try going to your phone and see if that works.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
Yay!
you're good.
Yes.
I'll give it to you again.
Yeah, let's
Editing is a wonderful thing,
isn't it? Yeah, we'll roll back to
thank you for your patience.
let's just roll back to the top of scene 31 here, Mary's Simple Courage. Thank you to everybody watching for dealing with all our technical issues. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, we'll roll back to top of scene 31, Mary's Simple Courage. Meg, whenever you're ready.
The Rohirrim are stopped beside a lake. Eomer gallops up to Theoden.
The scouts report Minas Tirith is surrounded. The lower levels in flames. Everywhere. Legions of the enemy advance.
Time is against us. Make ready.
Eowyn and Mary prepare to move out.
Take heart, Mary.
Mary, who is eating, looks to her.
It will soon be over.
My lady, you are fair and brave, and you have much to live for, and many who love you. I know it's too late to turn aside. I know there's not much point now in hoping. If I were a knight of Rohan capable of great deeds. But I'm not. I'm a hobbit. And I know I can't save Middle-earth. I just want to help my friends. Frodo. Sam. Pippin. More than anything, I wish I could see them again.
Prepare to move out.
Make haste. We ride through the night.
Merry and Eowyn exchange looks. Merry puts down his food and puts on his helmet. He stands up and looks at her. She puts on her helmet.
To battle?
To battle.
At Minas Tirith, night has fallen on the besieged city. Catapults fire, balls of flame over the walls. The trolls pull on a rope, each which suspends Grond on its scaffolding. They pull the battering ram back as the orcs continue to chant. It is released and crashes hard into the gate, which shudders with the impact.
Back to the gate! Hurry!
Archers and Gandalf rush to defend the gate. Grond is released a second time. The gate shudders. Pippin looks from the forecourt of the White Tower over the flaming city. He turns back to see Denethor leading a procession holding a flaming brand. Faramir is being borne on a stretcher.
I am steward of the house of Anarion. Thus have I walked, and now thus shall I sleep.
Pippin runs toward them. He watches the procession pass him in astonishment.
Gondor is lost. There is no hope for men.
A single white flower on the dead tree of Gondor has bloomed. Below, the first circle of the city is in flames.
Why do the fools fly? Better to die sooner than late, for die we must.
The procession passes on to the tombs, bearing Faramir with them. Pippin follows. Denethor opens the doors to the tomb and strides in.
No tomb for Denethor and Faramir. No long, slow sleep of death embalmed. No, we shall burn like the heathen kings of old. Bring wood and oil.
At the gates, Grond continues to hammer the massive wooden doors.
Steady! Steady!
With a mighty crash, the battering ram breaks through the center of the gate.
You are soldiers of Gondor. No matter what comes through that gate, you will stand your ground.
Grond hits the gate once more. They burst open and in, charge cave trolls brandishing huge maces. Gandalf looks alarmed.
Volley! Fire!
The archers fire into the trolls, and the infantry lower their spears in defense. Orcs advance on them, and there is fierce hand-to-hand fighting. The trolls follow up, swinging their maces from side to side, sweeping aside all opposition. Frodo stumbles along the pathway at Cirith Ungol. He spots the lookout tower at the top of the pass. He runs to look at it from behind a rock. Above and behind, two spider legs emerge from a gap in the rock. Frodo moves forward slowly as the spider sneaks from above and behind. Shelob moves directly above him as Frodo looks at the tower. Rocks fall, and Frodo spins around to look. He sees nothing. Shelob lowers down behind him with her stinger. He turns, and she stings him in the chest. He foams at the mouth and collapses. Practiced, she winds him up in a binding web. She covers him from top to bottom, Sting, glowing brightly, is in the hands of Samwise Gamgee. He also holds the phial of Galadriel.
Let him go, you filth! Let him go!
Shelob drops Frodo on the ground.
You will not touch him again. Come on then, finish it!
Sam charges Shelob and slashes at her face. She strikes back. Sam slashes at her leg. She throws him backwards, and he drops the light. Shelob kicks the light away, advancing on Sam. She harries him down to the ground and pushes him up the wall. He holds on to her pincers as they try to grasp him. He gets above her and kicks her in the face. She falls back. Sam tries to escape up the rocks. Shelob grabs him. He falls down over her back and onto the ground. He moves around, and Shelob gathers herself for a final pounce on him from above. Sam manages to thrust Sting into her eyes, and she falls back in pain. Sam thrusts Sting at her again. She grabs it with her pincers and wrestles for it with Sam. Sting flies out of Sam's grasp. As he turns to run for it, Shelob knocks him forward onto the ground. Sam near reaches the sword when Shelob stands on it. Sam turns around. Shelob is right above him and thrusts with Sting at him. He rolls over as she tries to sting him over and over. Finally, Sam is able to pick up Sting and thrust upward into her body. She writhes in pain. Sam fumbles to the light and thrusts it at her. Shelob retreats backwards through a hole and disappears.
Mr. Frodo?
Sam runs to Frodo. Putting down Sting, he pulls the webs away from his face. Frodo looks dead.
Oh no. Mr. Frodo? Mr. Frodo?
Sam shakes him. He picks him up and cradles him in his arms.
Wake up. Don't leave me here alone. Don't go where I can't follow. Wake up. Not asleep. Dead.
Sam presses his face to Frodo's as tears stream down his cheeks. On the ground, Sting takes on a blue glow, and Sam notices. Noise from the pass attracts his attention.
Get back, you scum!
Sam looks around hurriedly. Shagrat comes down from the pass with other orcs following him.
What's this? Looks like Shelob's been having a bit of fun.
Shagrat approaches Frodo lying on the ground. Sam watches from a tunnel's entrance.
Killed another one, has she?
Shagrat pokes Frodo with his whip.
No, this fellow ain't dead.
Oh, dead?
She jabs him with a stinger, and then he goes limp as a bonefish. Then she has her way with them. That's how she likes to feed. Fresh blood. Get him to the tower!
They pick Frodo up and take him with them up the pass.
Samwise, you fool.
This scum will be awake in a couple of hours.
Then they'll wish he'd never been born.
Shagrat looks around and then follows them up the steps. Pippin watches from behind a pillar in the Tomb of Kings. The soldiers lay Faramir on a bed of bundled kindling and pile wood up all around him. Pippin moves closer.
The house of his spirit crumbles.
Denethor holds Faramir's head.
He is burning. Already burning.
He's not dead. He's not dead.
Pippin shouts and starts pulling the wood away.
No, he's not dead.
Denethor drags Pippin away along the corridor.
Farewell, Peregrine, son of Paladin.
No!
I release you from your service.
Denethor throws Pippin out the door.
Now, go. Die in what way you best for you.
Denethor closes the door and Pippin looks desperate from inside.
Pour on oil!
Soldiers rush through the city.
Come on, soldier, move it.
Hurry along there! Hurry along!
Pippin struggles against them, a minnow swimming against a roaring river.
Gandalf! Where is Gandalf? Gandalf!
Fireballs continue to rain down on the city.
Retreat! The city is breached. Fall back to the second level. Get the women and children out. Get them out. Retreat.
Come on! Come on!
The guards hurry people through the gate before closing it. The main body of orcs are still outside the city.
Move into the city! Kill all in your path!
The orcs pour into the city from the destroyed gate.
Take them down!
Women scream as they try to get away. Men are butchered. Cave trolls hurl soldiers like dolls.
Fight! Fight to the last man! Fight for your lives!
Gandalf! Gandalf! Denethor has lost his mind. He's burning Faramir alive.
Gandalf grabs Pippin by the arm.
Up! Quickly!
Gandalf swings him up onto Shadowfax. They gallop toward the upper levels. As they come out of a tunnel, the Witch King alights on his fell beast in front of them.
Go back to the abyss. Fall into the nothingness that awaits you and your master.
Gandalf holds his staff in a defensive position.
Do you not know death when you see it, old man? This is my hour.
The Witch King draws his sword, which bursts into flames, sucking in air and rending the world with a horrible noise. Gandalf's staff bursts asunder in his grasp, throwing him and Pippin from Shadowfax's back.
Gandalf!
The fell beast roars in Gandalf's face. Pippin draws his sword and runs toward it. The fell beast roars at him. Pippin stops in fear. Shadowfax prances around, and Gandalf looks up from the floor.
You have failed. The world of men will fall.
The Witch King lifts his sword. He turns and listens, looks back at Gandalf, and then flies off on his beast. Gothmog hears the horn. The Rohirrim form up against the sunrise. 6,000 horses and riders ready for death and glory. Theoden looks down on the battlefield. Eowyn puts her arm around Mary's shoulder.
Courage, Mary. Courage for our friends.
Form ranks, you maggots! Form ranks! Pikes in front! Archers behind!
The orcs prepare to meet them. Theoden turns to his men.
Emma, take your Ered down the left flank.
Flank ready.
Gamling, follow the king's banner down the center. Grimbold, take your company right after you pass the wall. Forth and fear no darkness. Arise! Arise, riders of Theoden! Spears shall be shaken. Shields shall be splintered. A sword day, a red day, ere the sun rises!
The soldiers lower their spears in readiness. The orcs lower their pikes in defense.
Whatever happens, stay with me. I'll look after you.
Mary smiles and looks around at all the soldiers. Theoden rides across the front of the men, running his sword along their spears.
Ride now! Ride now! Ride! Ride for ruin and the world's ending! Death! 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 Death!
Theoden and his cavalry walk forward. They break into a gallop as they approach the enemy. Orc archers prepare.
Fire!
The orc archers release their arrows. Riders and mounts fall, but the charge continues.
Charge!
Fire at will!
The orc archers fire. Gothmog's face changes as the cavalry draws near. Orcs begin to panic and run. The Rohirrim smash into the orcs, slaughtering them right, left, and center. In the tombs of the kings, Denethor empties a jug of oil over his head. Oil splashes over the unconscious Faramir.
Set a fire in our flesh.
Denethor stands above Faramir with his arms extended to the heavens. The soldiers advance on the pyre with torches. The door bursts open. Gandalf and Merry sit astride Shadowfax. Denethor turns to look at him.
Stay this madness.
Denethor grabs a torch.
You may triumph in the field of battle for a day, but against the power that has arisen from the east, there is no victory.
Denethor drops the torch on the timbers, which catch instantly. Gandalf grabs a spear off a guard at the door and gallops up to the pyre. He knocks Denethor off the pyre to the floor. Pippin jumps onto the top of the pyre. He struggles and manages to roll Faramir off of it onto the floor. He uses his hands to douse flames that have caught on Faramir. Denethor jumps up.
No! You will not take my son away from me!
Denethor struggles with Pippin. Gandalf rides up on Shadowfax, who rears, kicks Denethor onto the flaming pyre. Faramir opens his eyes and looks at his father.
Faramir!
Denethor catches fire. He jumps off the pyre and runs down the corridor, running all the way along the forecourt, and falls from the end of the parapet, a ball of flames.
So passes Denethor, son of Ecthelion.
On Pelennor Fields, Eomer and Theoden are fighting from horseback. Eowyn, Merry, and the rest of the Rohirrim take on the orcs.
Drive them to the river!
Rohirrim charge the fleeing orcs.
Make safe the city!
The riders stop short at their king's command. Theoden stares open-mouthed. A line of Oliphants lumber toward the Rohirrim. The Haradrim begin a charge toward the Rohirrim.
Reform the line! Reform the line! Sound the charge! Take them head on! Charge!
The Rohirrim charge toward the Haradrim. The Mumakil sway their tusks from side to side, plowing through the Rohirrim and throwing them up into the air. Men and horses are trampled indiscriminately. The Rohirrim bravely move in close, riding between the deadly feet. They fire arrows and slash at the Mumakil. Haradrim fire arrows from the backs of their living tanks. The battle is fierce.
Cut them down!
Eomer spots the Haradrim, hoists up his spear, and throws it at him. It kills the driver and he falls. His controls pull on the Mumakil's ear, which makes it turn and crash into another one next to it. They both fall down dead, defeated. Eowyn and Merry weave between the Mumakil's legs.
Take the reins. Pull him left.
She snatches a sword off an orc as they gallop past.
Left!
Merry steers the horse. They continue to weave in between the Mumakil. They come in between the back legs of one, and Eowyn slashes with both swords, one on each leg. The Mumakil falls.
Aim for their heads!
Aemir fires an arrow at a Mimikil's head. It rears up on its back legs, roaring.
Bring it down! Bring it down! Bring it down!
The Rohirrim continue to fire at the elephantine beast. It falls backward toward Eowyn and Merry. Their horse rears and falls, spilling them off. The Mimikil falls toward Eowyn, who manages to avoid being crushed at the last minute.
Oh, Merry!
Eowyn looks around for Merry. Orcs attack her, and she fights them fiercely. Theoden watches the brave Rohirrim soldier. Merry walks out from behind the Mimikil, coughing the dust from his throat. A Haradrim sees him and attacks. Merry fights fiercely, killing several Haradrim until the orc picks him up. Merry doesn't give up and continues to fight. He slashes the orc's throat and stabs him several times. Eowyn fights orcs, and she battles Gothmog. She punches him and hamstrings the orc general. He falls to the ground. Over the city of Minas Tirith, the Witch King flies on his fell beast whilst a troll attacks a locked door with his mace. On the other side of the door, Gondorian soldiers stand in readiness. Pippin and Gandalf sit at one side together.
I didn't think it would end this way.
End? No, the journey doesn't end here. Death is just another path, one that we all must take. The gray rain curtain of this world rolls back, and all turns to silvered glass, and then you see it.
What? Gandalf. See what?
White shores, and beyond, a far green country under a swift sunrise.
Oh. It's so bad.
No, it isn't.
The door buckles under a heavy blow. Gandalf nods encouragement at Pippin. Pippin closes his eyes, steeling himself for what may come. On Pelennor Field, the Rohirrim continue their desperate defense.
Rally to me! To me!
Theoden sees the Witch King flying toward him at incredible speed. The fell beast catches Theoden and his horse in its mouth and throws them both down. Eowyn watches in horror. The fell beast moves toward the stricken horse and rider.
Beast on his flesh.
Theoden looks up from the ground, unable to move as he's trapped under the horse. The beast moves toward him. Eowyn moves in front of Theoden to defend him.
I will kill you if you touch him.
Do not come between the Nazgul and his prey.
The beast lunges at her. She steps aside and cuts off its head. Beast falls down, dead. The Witch King turns toward her as she picks up a wooden shield and approaches him. He wields a massive spiked flail. He swings the flail at her, and she manages to avoid it several times. He catches her, shattering the shield and breaking her arm. She falls against a slain horse. He towers over her. The black corsair ships draw up toward orcs, awaiting them on the shore.
Late as usual, pirate scum. There's knife work here needs doing. Come on, you sea rats. Get off your ships.
Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas jump off the ship. The orc looks surprised. The trio boldly approach the orcs.
There's plenty for both of us. May the best dwarf win.
As the trio moves toward the orcs, the dead army materializes behind them and charge at the orcs, who move back in astonishment. The dead army overrun the orcs and kill them all. Eowyn looks up at the Witch King. He grabs her by the throat and lifts her up.
You fool! No man can kill me. Die now!
Merry has crawled unnoticed behind the Witch King. He stabs him behind his knee. The Witch King drops Eowyn and falls to his knees. Merry groans in agony and holds his arm, falling back. Eowyn removes her helmet before the Witch King, her golden hair cascading down her battle-worn face.
I am no man.
She thrusts her sword into the void in his helmet. It sparks, he roars, and the sword flies back out. Eowyn falls to the floor as the Witch King implodes, screaming. The tide has truly turned on Pelennor Fields.
16! 15! 16!
Aragorn fights fiercely on the battlefield, killing many orcs. Eowyn crawls toward Theoden.
Mary!
Gothmog limps toward her. She turns and sees him. She tries to crawl faster as he comes up behind her. Eowyn reaches for Theoden's sword, but it falls away from her fingers as Gothmog closes in on her. Gimli and Aragorn finish Gothmog between them. They are unaware of Eowyn.
Legolas!
Aragorn points out a Mumakil coming straight toward them. Legolas runs toward it and jumps onto its tusk. He swings onto its front leg and then onto its back leg. He climbs up arrows that are sticking out of it and gains the top of the animal. He starts to shoot arrows at the Haradrim.
33! 34!
Haradrim rush toward him. He fights them off and drops them off the animal. Legolas grabs a rope and swings down to the side of the animal. He slashes twice at the straps, and the whole construct slips sideways, throwing off the occupants. Legolas holds onto the rope until he gains the top again, then lets go and stands there alone. He moves toward the Mumakil's head, fits 3 arrows to his bow. He fires them down into the Mumakil's skull. As the animal drops to the ground, Legolas slides down its trunk to land safely on the ground in front of Gimli.
But still only counts as one.
Aragorn continues to fight.
Come on, then. Come on.
Aragorn kills all the orcs around him and stops to look at the battlefield. Behind him, the army of the dead bring down a Mumakil. He watches as they move through the city, killing all the orcs in their path. Eowyn struggles to crawl toward Theoden, who still lies trapped beneath his horse. She reaches him and strokes his face. He puts his gloved hand up to her.
I know your face. Eowyn. My eyes darken.
No. No. I am going to save you.
You already did. Eowyn. My body is broken. You have to let me go.
No.
I go to my father's. In whose mighty company I shall not now feel ashamed. Eowyn.
Theoden, son of Thengel, Lord of Rohan, last of his line, passes from this world. Minas Tirith smolders. Sunbeams break through the lightening skies. Gandalf and Pippin walk through the carnage to gaze upon the army of the dead. They stand in front of Aragorn.
Release us.
Bad idea. Very handy in a tight spot, these lads, despite the fact they're dead. Ha!
You gave us your word.
I hold your oath fulfilled. Go. Be at peace.
There is a great wind, and the army of the dead disappear. Aragorn looks around. He sees Gandalf, who bows his head to him. Later, Éomer searches among the dead. Pippin also searches. He spies Merry's cloak on the ground and picks it up.
Merry?
No!
He runs toward Éowyn's body. He picks her up and cradles her in his arms. Aragorn hears him and looks across. He sees him cradling Éowyn, and tears fill his eyes. Gandalf looks on.
With a sigh, you turn away with a deepening heart, no words to say. You will find that the world has changed forever.
Aragorn enters the houses of healing. Éomer sits with Éowyn. Aragorn approaches her. He lifts her damaged arm to look at it. He squeezes water out of a cloth and bathes her head with it. Éomer watches, grief etched into his face. Éowyn begins to breathe heavily. She opens her eyes and looks at Aragorn.
And the trees are now turning from green to gold, and the sun is now fading. I wish I could hold you closer.
Later, Éowyn has recovered. She wakes and moves over to a window. Faramir watches her. Their eyes meet. Dusk on Pelennor fields. Men search the ground for fallen soldiers and survivors.
Merry? Merry!
Pippin turns around and spots Merry, half concealed beneath an orc. He rolls the orc off the top of him.
Merry!
Pippin picks him up in his arms.
Merry, it's me.
Merry opens his eyes and looks at him. There is blood at the corner of his mouth.
It's Pippin.
I knew you'd find me.
Yes.
Are you going to leave me?
No, Merry. I'm going to look after you.
Pippin covers Merry in his cloak.
It still says we're live. If I turn my video on, let's see if it turns on. See, I can't look at it on the same internet.
Melissa, did you get a notification?
I did not.
That's weird.
Oh, it says we're live again.
It's live on YouTube.
Oh no! If I look on the actual YouTube, it says we are suspended for policy. Let me stop it and restart it.